he's a veteran. He made his return to the racing game this year. In the number 24, it's Eddie Freeland, Captain Ed Freeland out of Woburn, Massachusetts. And on the outside, relatively a newcomer to the Pro Stock division, Bob Whitney in the Whitney Service, sponsored number 5 out of Westford, Massachusetts. And in the Cox Vogler WCLB sponsored number 50 car, Bobby Gahan out of Barrington, New Hampshire. Starting down to the back of the field, he's had another great season in the hunt for the track championship and sits well in the regional points under the NASCAR Northeast Regional Plan. Here they come, Jim Beebe and Troy Breaking on the flag stand. The green flag is out, and we are underway here on Saturday night of a Labor Day weekend, 1994. Down the back straightaway, Mike Wheaton works the inside of Fast Freddy's Gap. They go side by side as they work the third turn. Out of the fourth turn, your first lap leader is going to be Mike Wheaton. Running in third spot, it's Mike Murphy. Charging Charlie Rose falls into that fourth position. Eric Hudson goes by Marson, and he puts the white number 7 car into the fifth spot. So your top 6 now are nose to tail out of the fourth turn. Wheaton enjoying a comfortable margin out of the second turn. Mike Wheaton right on the rear bumper of Fast Freddy Scaff. Into the third turn, they blast. Eric Hudson goes to the outside of Charlie Rose. They race for the fourth spot, side by side, down the front straightaway. Out of turn number 4, Captain Ed Freeland spins the number 24. Jim Beane's watching him closely. Will he draw the yellow? You got Mike Murphy now going to the inside of Scaff as they go into the corner. The yellow flag is out, and we are under caution. So the first caution flag of the evening falls for Eddie Freeland driving the number 24 car as he spun out coming off the fourth corner. The green flag is out. They roar out of turn number 4. And at the drop of the green flag, Mike Murphy, the old KG veteran, looks low going into the corner on Fast Freddy Scaff, and he outmotors him on a turn number 2, and he goes into the second spot. Here comes Charging Charlie Rose. Nip and top through the turn. He rolls to the third spot as Bobby Gahan in the Cox Vogler WCLB number 50. Keep in mind now, he started dead last. He is up to the fourth spot and puts the pressure to Charging Charlie Rose. Jim Beebe's got the flags across. We're halfway out here in the front straightaway. 5 gone, 5 remain. Heat number 1 for the Winston Racing Series Pro Stocks. Here's Gahan trying to glue it down on the outside. Charging Charlie Rose running strong right and tight behind Mike Murphy as they work the third turn out of the fourth corner. Gahan comes to the high side out of the turn. Rose is able to shut the door on him down the front straightaway. In the fifth spot, it is Scaff. 6th is Eric Hudson. Ronnie Marson runs in 7th. Now Gahan, he's going to look to the low side on Charlie Rose. Rose a little squirmish coming off the corner. And Bobby Gahan had to think better of it as he looked the dart to the inside of him. Here's Eric Hudson now as he powers down out of turn number 2 on the inside of Scaff. But Scaff with the down, he's drilling number 33. Fends him off. 2 laps to go for the leader, Mike Wheaton. Mike Wheaton, and the yellow is out for Captain Eddie Freeland as he loops it again in the fourth turn and down onto the apron out of harm's way. Yellow flag is out again for Freeland. Eddie Freeland having a problem negotiating that that fourth turn out there as he drew the caution on the third lap and again here on the 8th circuit. And set for the restart. 8 gone, 2 remain. The green flag is out, and here they are, roaring out of 4. Mike Wheaton with Charlie Rose on the inside. Charlie Rose looking to wrestle it away. He's way down under the apron. Gahan had to get on the binders or he would have ran into the back of the 91. Hudson runs in the 5th spot. Here nose to tail now. They're going to get the white flag. 1 more to go. Let's see how it plays out. Wheaton is your leader. Mike Murphy crosses down in front of Charlie Rose. Look at Bobby Gahan battling Charlie Rose. He wants to go with Rose and Murphy going into turn number 3. The checkers waiting on the field, and here they are. Your winner is Wheaton. Second will go to Mike Murphy. Bobby Gahan, Charlie Rose finishes in the 4th spot, and the number 7, Hurricane Hudson, Eric Hudson, finishes in the 5th spot in our first Pro Stock race of the evening. Service sponsor number 22. Allen out of Derry, inside row number 3, Hollywood Bob Cabral from Kingston in the number 66. And in the Hafner sponsor number 11 outside, it is Wes Haig out of Methuen, Mass. G.G. Gravel starts down to the back row. Down he's drilling number 54. And Ernie Holland Jr. is on the outside out of Randolph, Mass. in the number 31. That's your lineup. Here they come. 10 laps. Heat number 2 for the Pro Stockers. Green flag is out. And right at the drop of the green flag, Pete Fiandaca drifts to the high side of 1. Rosenfield, Cabral, and McClure went by. There goes Gigi Gravel by in the 54 car. They're nose to tail out of the turn. They complete the first lap. It's Mitch Wendell, the leader. Rosenfield right there on his rear bumper with Cabral in tow in the 66. And a race for 4th spot between McClure and Gigi Gravel. 6th is Pete Fiandaca, Holland, and Haig down to the back of the field. Wendell setting the pace. The Holly back spots at number 21. Opens it up just a tad out there in the back straightaway. Here comes Hollywood Bob on the outside. Races Rosenfield for the number 2 spot. Rosenfield drifts up. Here's Gigi now to the inside of Al McClure. They're side by side, and Gravel moves into the 4th position. Bobby Cabral sets up the Scavati 66 car outside. They work that corner, and Bobby hangs on to that 3rd spot. Not able to pull it up alongside the 44 of Rosenfield. Jim Beebe, the chief flagger here at Star, crosses the flags. We're halfway down the front chute. Channel 1 video getting all the action here tonight. Order it tonight and it's yours for $15. Will Channel up here with his camera following the action of heat number 2. Cabral right up behind Rosenfield. Gigi at a sole hold on the 4th spot, trying to reel in Bobby Cabral and race him for the 3rd spot. Further back, it's Alan McClure. He's off the pace in the number 22. Here's your top 4 freight training out of the turn. Gigi Gravel has reeled in the lead pack as they blast their way down that back straightaway. Beebe's set to show them 2 to go. And there it is. 2 more laps to go. What is going to develop here over the final 2 circuits, if anything? Here's Cabral right on the rear bumper of the 44 of Jimmy Rosenfield. Their nose to tail. It's a freight train out of the turn as they race to the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Gigi looking low on Cabral. Bobby shut the door on him going into the turn. Here's the checkers waiting for the field. And Mitch Wendell powers the Polyvac 21 to victory lane. Rosenfield, Hollywood Bob, then Gigi, and Alan McClure will get the 5th spot. Fiandaca 6th. 7th will go to Wes Haig, and Ernie Holland will round it out in the number 31. So there you go. There's the qualifying sessions for the Winston Racing Series Pro Stocks here at the Star Speedway on a Saturday night.
We've got half the first heat pushed off already. On the pole will be the Don Duville Pontiac. The driver from Windham, Connecticut is John Farrell. And outside, in Pete Perniciglio's Mazda-powered machine, is young Peter Perniciglio. Getting into their 2-wide formation on the backstretch, we're ready to go. The midget action for the evening is under green. On the start, it's Peter Perniciglio on the outside. Takes the lead going out of turn 2. But Hank Nelson ducks underneath him and gets him in turn 3. Oh, we got backwards, sideways, bang, and John Farrell lays over on its side. He got a little too much side bite there. There's lots of banging and crashing in the middle there. And John Farrell for the 2nd time here at Star Speedway. That a similar event happened to him a year or so ago. John Mkhitaryan's number 7 in this race. Bobby Seymour is, I believe, 2nd in the point standings and obviously wants to protect that position. John Mkhitaryan, by the way, is his brother-in-law. Okay, heat number 2 getting lined up. Cars all grouped together. Everybody's pushed off for the start of the 2nd heat. And we'll get them lined up next time around. pole. Paul Scally outside. Two youngsters. Matt O'Brien and Barry Cannon in the second row. Then Glenn Cabral and Russ Storr, Jeff Horn, Joe Payne Jr., Mike Chickey, and Bobby Seymour. Steve has the green flag ready. The second heat is underway. Mike Horn grabs the lead going into turn one, keeps it through turn one. Coming out of turn two, Scally gets underneath him as Russ Storr comes through into third spot. Paul Scally has the lead, then Mike Horn, Russ Storr. Russ Storr tries to go under Mike Horn, but leaves him little room. Horn pushes badly. Russ Storr gets to the second spot going down the backstretch. Joe Payne comes through into third spot. Jeff Horn and Bobby Seymour battling it out for fifth behind Mike Horn. Jeff Horn passes son Mike down the backstretch to take fourth. Bobby Seymour is the next one to do it. Still Paul Scally in the lead, but now he's got Russ Storr all over him. Paul Scally in the Volkswagen, Russ Storr in the Gertie. The Gertie power drags him in hard into three, pushes way out wide. Scally tries to get under him, can't do it. Russ Storr was at the Flemington Fair in New Jersey last Tuesday. Had the race won when the car jumped out of gear with 7 laps to go. He had to go all the way to the back and came back to fourth in just 7 laps. Fight for second now heating up as Joe Payne works to the outside of Paul Scally. Gets down, tries to squeeze him in, succeeds, and Joe Payne has that second spot. Scally's in third, but he's now got Jeff Horn on him. Russ Storr well out in front. Joe Payne holding down a comfortable second. Look at that battle for third as Bob Seymour in an unfamiliar car goes around the outside of Jeff Horn and around the outside of Paul Scally to move into third. Jeff Horn still having trouble figuring out a way around Scally. Horn usually likes the high road here, and there he takes it now and takes fourth away from Scally. And that was the white flag. Checkered flag coming out this time for Russ Storr, followed by Joe Payne, Bobby Seymour, Jeff Horn, Paul Scally, Mike Horn, Barry Cannon, Matt O'Brien, Glenn Cabral, and Mike Chickey was the lap car in there. Well, that one went pretty well. Well, we got most of the cars back. Yeah. Peter Persiglio and E.J. Duville on the pole. Hank Nelson and Paul Wallace in the second row, ready for the green, and here we go. E.J. Duville leads from the outside in the point. Hank Nelson comes through in the bottom as Paul Wallace goes on the top, and Mike Seymour follows through into fourth on the bottom. Persiglio has a little handling problem and drops back quickly as Duville takes the point. Now Hank Nelson wants to get underneath him. Battle for second and third and fourth as Drew Fanaro moves up there. 2 wide, trying for 3 wide here as Duville gets out a little wide, and Nelson, Seymour, and Fanaro all make it past him. Now Nelson slips out wide and Mike Seymour has the lead. A lot of guys pushing badly tonight. Fanaro gets under Nelson, takes over second spot, goes after our points leader. Halfway this time by for Mike Seymour, Drew Fanaro, Hank Nelson, battle for fourth between Noki Fanaro and Paul Wallace. Mike Seymour seems in command of this race. Drew Fanaro in a comfortable second. Hank Nelson seems to be okay in third, although he is pushing, and Wallace and Noki are catching him. but probably not enough time with two to go this time by for Mike Seymour, Drew Finuro. Hank Nelson, Paul Lawler still holding down fourth. Noki Finuro still have bugs to work out in that brand new car. White flag for Mike Seymour, Drew Finuro. And the battle for third is heating up. With one lap to go, there's probably not enough time for anything to happen. Mike Seymour takes the second heat ahead of Drew Finuro. Hank Nelson, Paul Lawless, Noki Finuro, E.J. Duville, Peter Perniciglio, and Chuck Welling was the lap car. Well, once we got it started, it went all right. We've got our heats in. We'll be back with some more midget action in a little while. Right now, I'm going to turn you back over to John Spence.
Thank you, Dick. And the feature winner tonight will garner 52 points. 48 for second, 44 for third, 40 for fourth, and 36 for fifth, and so on. And J.R. Barreau is, well, I guess you'd have to say considered the odds-on favorite to secure the championship here. But you never know. I mean, anything could happen, as it certainly has in the past. J.R. Barreau on the point. Mike Lewis on the outside. Steve Tretero in the 33. Frank Foley's in the 28. Frazier in the 37. And starting alongside him, the number 15 is Jerry Dodge. Here they come. Strictly's out of the corner for qualifying. Green flag is out. And into the corner, the point leader, J.R. Barreau, takes them through 1 and 2 with the lead. Mighty Mike Lewis runs in second. Steve Tetro scramble for fourth spot out of the second turn. Jerry Dodge goes to the outside of Pete Frazier. They're racing side by side for the fourth spot as Dodge lets it all hang out, coming up high out of turn number 4. But look at Frazier fight back on the inside in that number 37 as they go side by side, wheel to wheel. Frazier has the advantage out of turn number 2, moves right up into a hold on that fourth position. Dodge strong on the outside one more time, but he can't get it to glue down as the back end comes loose on him, and Frazier continues to run in the fourth position. Meanwhile, up the front of the pack, it is J.R. Barreau with a comfortable margin, working the third and fourth turn. Mighty Mike Lewis looking to reel him in the number 3 car. Field pretty much strung out here as Barreau continues to set the pace. What a tremendous season he has had here in the Strictly Stock Division. He's got a brand new late model that just went together, and he won his first ever Thunder Car Division feature at the halfway mark. 4 down, 4 to go. He won last Sunday night in the Thunder late model division. He's only been in the car about 4 weeks, and he really diced it out with all the guns in the Thunder division at Hudson Speedway to pick up his first win of the season, only 18 years old. Mighty Mike Lewis still solidly in that second spot. Barreau opening up a margin as they work that third and fourth turn, coming down the front straightaway. 2 more laps to go. The action developing out of the fourth turn. Frazier, then Dodge. Frank Foley. Here's the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Here's J.R. Barreau ready to take the white flag from Jim Beattie. Zips by the start-finish line and barrels strong into that first turn. Final time around in the qualifying event. And he's going to certainly pad his point lead here. His quest for the championship. Here's the checkers. JR wins it convincingly over Mike Lewis. Second, third across the line. It's Steve Tetro. Rest of the field now working out of the fourth corner to take the checkers. Pete Frazier will get fourth spot. Jerry Dodge and Frank Foley will round it out in the number 28. There's your winner. How nice ad, J.R. Barreau. And then Hudson will be switching over to the fall schedule the following Sunday for a 1 o'clock start on September 11th. The 66 car comes out of the pit area to join the battle, and that is Mike Long out of Tewksbury, Mass. Leclerc and Palin in the front row. 8 laps, and here they come. Jimmy waving the sticks, calling them out of the turn, drops the green flag, cuts them loose out here on the front straightaway. And they barrel into that number 1 corner. Patterson's loose in the number 62. The scramble out of turn 2. Weber to the inside of Palin. He moves into the second spot as Oscar leads him into turn number 3. Out of turn number 4 to complete the first lap. Your first lap leader is Oscar Leclerc. Here's Weber setting up on the outside, trying to pull it up alongside of him, going between 1 and 2. They're door-to-door out of the corner. Dean Weber's got the hammer down way up high in the back straightaway. He's got the advantage going into the turn, but Oscar fights back strong on the inside. Inches apart out of the turn, a little contact. They touched over there in the 4th turn, and Oscar wins the battle down the front straightaway. Here's Dean Weber running way high on the outside as Oscar's not giving him too much to work with. Palin's running in the 3rd spot. Patterson 4th, Long further back in 5th spot in the 66. Your leaders continue to duke it out. Coming out of the 4th corner, Weber way up high along the asphalt, the concrete wall out here. He gathers it up, brings it right alongside of Leclerc out of 2 one more time. Inches apart, wheel to wheel, door to door, number to number down that back straightaway. Jimmy Beebe showing them the halfway side now. 4 down, 4 to go, a shootout here. In the second qualifier for the Strickleys, Weber with the advantage going in. Leclerc comes back, they touch going through 1. Out of 2, it's Leclerc about a half a car length. Weber continues to come strong on the outside in the number 30 car. They're side by side, wheel to wheel once again out of turn number 4. Dean Weber letting it all hang out as he runs the high groove down the front straightaway. Again, he's right up alongside Leclerc. Inches apart out of the turn. A drag race down the back straightaway between Weber and Leclerc. Weber a little bit of an advantage going in. Oscar fights back again. Contact is made. 2 more laps to go out here with Jim Beebe, and Weber's got the lead. Dean Weber just blasted by the outside of Oscar Leclerc to take the lead with the 2 to go sign from the flag stand from Jim Beebe, and it's a nose to tail race down the back straightaway. Joel Patterson spun off the 4th turn, back onto the racetrack he comes. Here's your leaders, the white flag shown. There's 1 more lap to go. Leclerc right on the rear bumper going into the turn. He is right there waiting for Weber to make a mistake, but Dean doesn't make too many too often. Into the turn for the final time they go. Jimmy Beebe's got the checkers waiting for them. Here they are racing to the start-finish line, and it'll be Dean Weber with Oscar Leclerc in 2nd spot. Brian Palin finishes in 3rd. The remainder of the field now works off the 4th corner, and the 4th spot is going to go to Mike Long, and then Joel Patterson rounding it out in the number 62. There's your winner. How nice hand. Dean Weber out of Derry taking down the 2nd qualifier in the strictly stock division. North Weymouth to be exact. Michael Barton outside in the 74. He comes to us here at Star Speedway from Grantham, New Hampshire. Here they come. 10 laps for the Lightning division. They're under green. And a scramble behind Billy Sullivan. Ian Thompson around in the 41 holes. Collected Labonte. Didn't catch Casey. Casey on the binders, and also one of the Matthews cars is involved there. That'll be Dave Matthews. He comes to a stop. He kicks it into reverse and ready to come back out here onto the speedway. So we get set. The speedway is clear. The caution lights are on. We'll wait now for Jim Beebe as he watches that front row to drop the green flag. Bill Sullivan. Out of the turn they come. The green is out, and we're back to racing. Michael Barton runs in 2nd spot. Tim Casey sets up alongside Mark Labonte. He's got just a little bit of an advantage. He's got the hammer down on the outside. Lee Weldy comes right up behind Casey. Look at the scramble going into turn number 3. Barton got a little loose. Here's Casey strong up high out of the 4th corner alongside Sully. And Tim Casey puts the number 7 car into the lead. Lee Weldy on the outside of Labonte. They are battling for the 4th spot down the back straightaway. Michael Barton right on the rear lid of Billy Sullivan. Whoops, he put him around. Spun him around. There's action all over the 4th turn, and the yellow flag comes flying over the speedway once again. Mike Barton into the back of Bill Sullivan, put the number 38 around. It certainly did not look intentional, but nevertheless, it did put Sully around over there in the 4th turn, and we are under yellow here after 1 completed lap in the qualifier for the Lightning division. Qualifier for the Lightning division. Oscar Leclerc, 4, Warner's got 2, so does Mike Lewis. Okay, the caution lights are on the speedway. The motors come alive in turn number 3. Jim Beebe throws the green flag, and here they come out of 4. Casey into the lead. Mark Labonte and Britt Rollins exchange a little paint and some sparks out there as Rollins has got the hammer down, glues it down nicely through 3. He races Labonte out of the 4th corner for the 3rd spot, and Mark's strong on the inside. Labonte does not want to give away that 3rd spot. Look at Rollins, though. He is right there. He's got the hammer down, and he runs right into that 3rd turn with a hold on the 3rd spot. Tim Casey's your leader. Dave Matthews is up to the 5th position and running right behind Mark Labonte. Michael Barton and Ian Thompson have got their own little battle going on down at the back end of the field. Here's your leaders. Lee Weldy, the races for second with Brett Rollins right on the rear lid coming down the front straightaway. Rollins looks to the low side coming out of turn number 2, but Weldy beats him down that back straightaway. Jim Beebe's got the sticks crossed. We're halfway. 5 down, 5 to go at the stripe. Dave Matthews right up behind Labonte. They have something developed there for the 4th position as they run nose to tail down that back straightaway. Rollins pulls it right in behind Lee Weldy through 3 and 4. Dave Matthews right there with Labonte. Labonte gets up a little high. Here's Matthews looking to race him on the inside out of turn number 2. And let's see who's going to win out. It'll be Labonte. He stays in that middle groove. Matthews fights strong on the inside. Down the front straightaway. Dave Matthews looking to wrestle the 4th spot away from Mark Labonte. And Dave Matthews is going to do it. Coming out of turn number 2, he's got about a half a car length down the back straightaway. 2 more laps to go. That's your race right now for the 4th spot. And Matthews wins out. David Matthews, former mini stock champion here at Star Speedway, rolls to the 4th spot. Looks like Rollins doesn't have what it's going to take to get by Lee Weldy as they still go 2nd and 3rd nose to tail. Here's the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Rollins right behind Weldy as Tim Casey runs away and hides from the rest of the field as he works the 3rd. Out of the 4th, races to Jim Beebe's checkers and secures the victory. Weldy will get 2nd, Rollins 3rd, Matthews, Labonte, Barton will round it out in the number 74. And starting in the final scratch position on the outside of that back row in the Fiend, the 135, the Mid-City Paving sponsored car for Peter Fiandaca from Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Well, we've got a nice lineup of Bud Light cars on hand here tonight. It's going to be a great feature when they hit the Speedway for their 25-lapper later on. 50-50 tickets on sale, race fans at the grandstand to win yourself some money here tonight at Star Speedway. Gina's got them out there in the seats. We've got them at the window down in the midway. Bolton, Rosenfield, Matthews, Kolofsky, Scaff, Nowak, Baldwin, and Fiandaca ready to do battle here. Jimmy watches them closely. Here they come. The motors come alive. Jim calls them out of the turn, drops the green, cuts them loose out of the corner. Rosenfield goes to the outside of Chris Bolton as Bolton's got the low line through the turn. Here's Matthews to the inside of Kolofsky. They battle for 3rd. Paul Matthews way underneath. Here comes Fast Freddy Scaff as Kolofsky for the moment got hung out to dry behind Rosenfield. Georgie Baldwin looking to make a move down low on Rosenfield as Rosenfield drifts up and paves the way for Baldwin and will go into the 4th spot. Here comes Kolofsky and Fiandaca 3 abreast. Going into that 3rd turn, Peter had to back out of it going into the turn. Side-by-side action there, Nowak and Rosenfield as Rosenfield gets relegated to the back end of the field. Down the back straightaway they go. Peter Fiandaca looking low on Kolofsky as they work into the 3rd turn. Here up front, coming out of the 4th, it's Matthews right on the inside of Bolton. And Chris is able to shut the door. Boy, I'll tell you, for a rookie, he looks like he's been at this game for 5-6 years. Out in front, 3rd spot, Scaff. 4th is Baldwin, Kolofsky, and Fiandaca continue to battle for the 5th spot. Nose to tail down the front straightaway as they combine the start-finish line. Down the back straightaway, we've got a car spun off the 4th turn. That is Rosenfield, and he's going to draw the yellow flag here. Dave Rosenfield pulling out the caution. Here they come, looking for that green flag. Chris sits 8th in the point standings. Green is out. We're back to racing. Matthews right up alongside Bolton this time. The youngster and the veteran having at it, coming out of turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Scaff is 3rd. Here comes Fiandaca. Peter to the inside of George Baldwin. Beebe crosses the flags. We are halfway. Matthews and Bolton together. Bolton get into Matthews, and the cars scurry around and about. Scaff goes to the high side, and we're back under yellow. Wow, what a tough break there. Matthews down low going into the turn, and contact between he and Bolton as they were racing for the lead. And Beebe's telling Bolton he wants him to go to the rear. Chris Bolton sent to the back end for the contact made in the 1st turn with Paul Matthews. He's got ice cream sandwiches right down here by the start-finish line. Pay attention to that man. How can you miss him? Matthews because he left the speedway. Bolton because he helped Matthews. Here they come. Green flag. Out of the turn they come. Pete Fiandaca, strong up top in the Mid-City Paving 135. Powers his way into the lead, but looking not to be denied on the inside. It's fast. Freddie Scapp looking fast on the inside groove. Kolofsky and Baldwin, you could put a blanket over this field now as they race out of that fourth turn. Great lightning action here in the qualifier. Fiandaca and Scapp side by side. Baldwin gets by. Kolofsky goes to third. He'll put the pressure out of Fiandaca. He'll race him for the number 2 spot as Peter glues it up top, going through 3, through 4, out of the turn. Matthews bobbled a little bit. Here is Fiandaca hanging tough up top, and we go yellow. The caution light is on. We're not going yellow. Yeah, now we are. Well, I think we mistakenly made contact with the caution light button on the flag stand. 7 gone, 3 remain. Fast Fred Scaff looking to secure the victory here, but boy, he's got pressure. As it develops out of the turn, the traveling man's got the line out of the turn. The green is out. Pete Fiandaca puts the Mid-City Paving 135 up top. Scaff second. Battle for third now between Baldwin and Steve Kolofsky. Paul Matthews right there. Kolofsky got up under the upper 8th turn and showed a lot of sparks there. 2 to go. Baldwin and Kolofsky, you've got a torrid battle going on. Here comes Matthews to the inside of Kolofsky. The white flag is on and 1 more to go for the traveling man as they travel out of the corner collectively. Here's Baldwin right behind Scaff. George Baldwin looking low. Away, Scaff's holding on. Fred's done a nice job in this race. Here's the checkers, and the veteran Pete Fiandaca is going to buckle down the victory. Scaff second, Baldwin, Matthews, Kolofsky, Nowak, and Bolton streak by the start-finish line. As that qualifying heat goes into the long list of star records here in Epping, New Hampshire. The traveling man travels to victory. How about a nice hand for Peter Fiandaca in the Mid-City Paving 135. This year from the Monadnock Speedway, and he picked up a victory while he was visiting with us here in Epping at the Star Speedway. So Roger Saucier and Jason Marr make up that front row. Doug Collier, Pete Evans, Jim Dunleavy, and Bill McCarthy. Cheer lineup for the qualifier 8 laps for the Mini Stock Pro Racing Association. Raced down at Hudson International last Sunday night with Paul Larson picking up the victory there. Troy Brady takes over on the flag stand, calls him out of the turn. Here's the green flag, and we are racing. And into the corner, young Jason Marr leads them into the turn with Pete Evans in hot pursuit out of the turn. Billy McCarthy, who started out of that back row, is right up to the 3rd spot, right off the drop here. Here they are through 3, out of 4. Evans is going to go high. McCarthy to the inside, and a side-by-side battle develops for the 2nd spot. McCarthy's got the line going through, and he moves into the 2nd position. Doug Collier is in 4th. Jimmy Dunleavy is back in 5th spot. Your leaders work the 3rd, 4th turn. Here's Marr getting high, and McCarthy sees the golden opportunity to move inside and take the lead down here in the front straightaway as they blast into turn number 1. Jason Marr runs in 2nd. Pete Evans is 3rd. Doug Collier in the 4th spot. Evans, as Collier puts the pressure to Jason Marr out of the 2nd turn. They're going to get the halfway indicator now from Troy Breggy. 4 laps down, 4 to go as we've reached the halfway mark, and the race is for 3rd. Doug Collier down low on Jason Marr. All the action being videoed here tonight by Bill Channel and Channel 1 Video. Watching that 3rd place battle very closely as it develops out of turn number 4 once again. Collier's got a solid hold on the 3rd position. Two laps to go as we pick up Billy McCarthy out here on the front straightaway. He's got a big lead over Pete Evans. There's the margin. Evans in 2nd, Collier in 3rd, 4th, Jason Marr. White flag waving now for Bill McCarthy off the 4th corner. Running away and hiding in the qualifier, the first of 2 for the mini stock division. Down out of 2 and down that back straightaway. into the third turn for the final time. Racing out of the fourth to the checkers in the hand of Troy Breggy and wins it. Second spot goes to Pete Evans, Doug Collier third. Chase and Marr will get fourth. Fifth to Jim Dunleavy. Great racing action here on the calendar at Star Speedway. Next Saturday night, the International Classic, the Super Modifieds, and also Division Championships for the 1994 season to be declared here next Saturday night. We're going to come back here to Epping on October 1st. We've got a big program with the East Coast Midget Classic here at the Star Speedway. The Supers are also going to be in action, so are the Winston Racing Series Pro Stocks. The Bud Lights will see action, the Streeters. All righty, here they come. The green flag is out. Heat number 2, 8 laps in distance, and Herb Quigley blasts right out in front here. Takes the field into the corner. They scramble out of turn number 2. Ronnie Page is in second. Here comes Paul Marson by Arsenault, by Page on the inside as they work into 3. Out of 4, the first lap leader is Herb Quigley as Paul Marson closes in on him quickly here. Arsenault and Page battling for the third spot. Quigley bobbled a little bit in the second turn as Marson strong on the inside as they're side by side setting up going into turn number 3. Marson's got the low line and the lead coming out of turn number 4. Roars out of the corner. Ron Page third, Bob Arsenault in fourth spot. They're continuing to battle out. That's a good race right there. Here's Arsenault to the inside of Page, and he moves into the third position. Ronnie Page off the pace, headed down pit road. Paul Marson with a comfortable margin out of turn number 2. Breggy set to cross him over, indicating we've reached the halfway mark. 4 down, 4 to go. Marson powers down that back straightaway, having an outstanding 1994 season. The Channel 1 camera trained on that number 45 for Paul Marson. 2 more laps to go as Marson takes them out of the fourth turn. Goes by the start-finish line with 2 laps to go. Good strong run for Marson. You can see the line he's driving. Right into that third turn. Takes it low through the corners. Drifts up a little bit and nails it down the front straightaway. Takes the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Ollie Silva once said that's the fast way around here. You take it low through the turns. Aim it down the back straightaway up top. You can set up nicely going into the turns. Here's the checkers. Paul Marson, in typical Ollie Silva style, wins it. Second goes to Herb Quigley. Third, coming across and out of the fourth turn by the checkers, it's Bob Arsenault. So Paul Marson looks like he'll be set for the feature as he nails down the win. What a nice hand for him. Paul Marson from Methuen, Mass. Fresh off a victory at Hudson International last Sunday night, and here come the street stocks onto the speedway. There's, of course, Big John tomorrow, but not by much. He's got 4:43. Rich Rossi second with 4:13. Jay Sands is third with 3:83. Don Little is fourth with 3:45. And Stevie Mullins is fifth with 291. And for features 1, well, we'll get to that in a moment here if we have a break here. We'll let you know all about that because the field is set to roar out of turn number 4. Here come the street stocks. Rich Rossi on the outside of Allie Olson, former mechanic on the famed Flying 5 Super Modified, as he leads the field down the back straightaway. Jay Sands down low going into turn number 3. Races Rich Rossi for second. 3 wide out of turn number 4. And Allie Olson wins the battle going into the corner. Sands on the inside of Rossi. Fourth is Louis Michelinas. Fifth is Steve Rossi. Side by side battle down that back straightaway as they work the third turn. Jay Sands and Rich Rossi. Action in the third turn as Steve Rossi collects Steve Landry. And Ken Smith is also involved, and we've got the yellow flag up. George Gibson spins the number 15. Gibson rolls away. Rossi rolls away. And Ken Smith sits on the apron. Number 23, second generation driver. He had a chance tonight here to stop on down to Heavy Weber of the novelty stand. Here they come. Green flag is out. We get a restart as they come off the turn. Rich Rossi right up alongside Ali Olsen. Jay Sands behind Olsen as they go into the turn. Here comes Lightning Lou Michelitis. Battle down that back straightaway between Olsen. Some sparks fly between the two. Rossi and Olsen. Great battle coming out of the turn. Whoops, we got Stevie Landry off the third turn. As Rossi's right nip and tuck alongside Ali Olsen. We're watching for the 90 car. Down the back straightaway out of the turn. Jay Sands. As Rossi got loose, and lucky for Rossi, we're going yellow. Cautions out for Steve Landry of the number 90. Long-time fans will remember those. The Ace Express cars for Sullivan and Bobby Edwards. All righty, here they come. The green flag. 3 gone, 7 to go, and they are roaring out of 4. Rich Rossi right up alongside Ali Olsen one more time. Jay Sands and Lightning Lou right there out of the turn. Look at the battle. Inches apart down that back straightaway at a high rate of speed. Here they are out of the corner for the halfway indicator from Jim Beebe. Rossi keeping it glued down on the outside. Still inches apart, nip and tuck, door to door. Olsen's got the advantage out of the turn. Here comes Jay Sands. Jumping off that second turn right up alongside Rossi now. That's the battle for second spot between Rossi as Olsen gets high. He tripped a little bit outside here. Jay Sands saw the opportunity, but he could not fill the hole going into the turn. But here he comes as Ali Olsen got up high and Jay Sands goes into the lead in the number 63. Now the battles for third between Lightning Lou and Rich Rossi. They have an at it. Here comes Rossi to the inside of Olsen. In the second spot, 2 laps to go. Olsen drop kicked back to the third spot. Michelitis is fourth. Landry on the inside of Smith as they race for the fifth spot. Landry moves by in the number 90. Here's the white flag. 1 more lap to go for Jay Sands. He's hung tough throughout and he's your leader. 1 more lap to go here. Rich Rossi holding on to that second spot. Ali Olsen, whoops, we got contact between Steve Rossi and Kenny Smith. We are going to see the checker and the yellow. Oh, Rossi's unhappy over there. Here's the checkers combined with the yellow. Sands wins with Rossi, Olsen, Michelitis, and Landry the top 5. Here they come, the sprinters. Second heat, the green is out. Down the straightaway, they rumble into that corner. Stevie O'Brien has the lead. Wyatt Irishman out of turn number 2. Bobby Flanders runs in second. Then it's Don Little in third. Big John and Rob Ball. Big John bounces by the inside of Ball as they work out of the corner. Here's Flanders putting the pressure to Stevie O'Brien as Flanders has got the low line going through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, Flanders is your leader as O'Brien got up high. Don Little right behind him. Big John coming along strong on the outside in that 9 New Hampshire, your point leader. Here's Flanders. Whoa, look at the action here. Little to the inside of Flanders. Mullins to the inside of DeBarro, and O'Brien almost lost it. Almost made contact over the fourth turn with the concrete barrier. Here's Mullins moving by Flanders. He rolls to the second spot. Great competition here in the second qualifier. Here's DeBarro to the inside of Flanders as Flanders is loose coming out of the turn. In the number 28 car, here's the battle now for second. DeBarro on the inside of Stevie Mullins. Boy, what a battle going on there for second spot as Jimmy shows them the halfway sign. 4 gone, 4 to go. Whoops, contact between Mullins and DeBarro. DeBarro gathers it up, hangs on to the second spot. Fifth spot is Rob Ball and Mike Caterino and Stevie O'Brien down to the back of the field. Your leader out of the turn is Don Little. He's got a commanding lead out here in the front straightaway. Picked up his first feature win just a couple of weeks ago in the street stock division here at Star Speedway. Mullins trying to reel in Big John DeBarro. 2 more laps to go and they come off that fourth corner. There's your leader. Little roars by the 2 to go sign. Oh, looks like DeBarro starting to close on him a little bit. Stevie Mullins trying to keep pace with DeBarro. Johnny's got about a 2-car length lead over him for second. Here's the white flag. 1 more to go as DeBarro roars right up behind Little out here on the front straightaway. This one's going right down here to the final lap as Little gets high. Here comes Big John DeBarro right up alongside of him, looking to go low on him into the corner. Nothing doing there. Little's able to beat him into the turn. Here's the checkers, and Don Little is going to win it. DeBarro second, Steve Mullins, Bob Flanders, and Rob Ball. Your top 5. 6th to Caterino, and 7th goes to Stevie O'Brien. Great street stock qualifier. Oh, you're going to love the feature when these fellas hit the speedway later on when they come out for their respective feature. How about a nice hand for the winner, Don Little, in the 09. The field is set. Mitch Wendell, Ronnie Marson up front. Here they come. Phoebe calls them out of the turn, drops the green, turns them loose. Into the turn they go. Mitch Wendell with Pete Biandaca moving into the 2nd spot. Ronnie Marson's 3rd, scramble behind him as Rosenfield blasts down underneath Mike Wheaton. McClure underneath Mike Murphy. First lap leader is Mitch Wendell. Out of turn number 2, you got McClure to the inside of Marson. Cabral trying to race with Murphy. They come together, and the contact is made between Cabral and Murphy. That's what triggered it initially over there as they made it 3/4 of the way down the back straightaway, and contact was made. And I think Ernie Holland just scooted right down pit road to avoid any contact himself. The field is set. The caution lights are out around the speedway. And we're looking to go green this time. Here they come. On the throttles. The field out of turn 4. The green flag. Whoops, we got contact. Look out here. We've got Wheaton into Ronnie Marson. And the field darts to the inside and outside to get by unscathed. Oh, what a tough break. Marson is going to go to the rear as he and Mikey Wheaton came together coming around the 4th corner in anticipation of that green flag. Here they come. Green flag. And out of the turn they come. Biandaca and Wendell. Wendell leads them down the front straightaway. Rosenfield in 3rd. McClure up to 4th spot. Here comes Bob Gahan strong on the outside of G.G. Gravel. Rosenfield and Biandaca door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel going into turn number 3. Gahan and G.G. battling for the 5th spot. Out of 4, they scramble. Further back, you've got Fred Scaff, Bob Cabral coming along, and so is Eric Hudson in the 7th. Hudson goes to the inside of the 66. Meanwhile, Biandaca drifts high. McClure races him for the 3rd spot. Looking down the inside, strongest, G.G. Gravel. Boy, he came out of nowhere. I don't think McClure expected him. They touch over there. Here's Gahan on the inside of McClure. As G.G. goes to 3rd, Gahan the 4th. And McClure goes to the outside with Fred Scaff right behind him. So is Biandaca, Hudson, and Cabral. Mitch Wendell continues to set the pace. Jimmy Rosenfield in hot pursuit. G.G. Gravel distantly back in 3rd. Bobby Gahan runs 4th. McClure is 5th. Scaff, Biandaca, and Hudson is side by side. They race for 7th as Hudson comes to the inside of Scaff. Hudson right there with Biandaca. Boy, Fred Scaff's not giving it to Eric Hudson. He's making it work for it, even though that bottom line is open. Down out of turn number 4 they come. Hudson and Scaff door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel. Cabral likewise with Pete Biandaca. Sparks between Hudson and Scaff. Eric Hudson gets by this time, and he goes into the 6th position. Cabral follows in the same groove in the number 66. Rosenfield has come right up behind Wendell this time. Out of turn number 2, Gahan and G.G. appear to be closing on the first 2 cars. 5th is McClure, Hudson 6th, Cabral, whoops, Scaff around and into Charlie Rose. Rose is able to continue on. Scaff of the Downey's drilling number 33 back onto the speedway. Ready to complete lap number 9 as they come by the start-finish line. Eric Hudson smoking the right rear out of the 4th turn that time. Oh boy, he's got Bobby Cabral working him over inside and outside, trying to wrestle away that 6th spot. Here's Gahan as he and Gravel have caught the leaders. Whoops, almost contact between G.G. Gravel and Bob Gahan. Boy, they got a battle going on for 3rd there. There's your leaders, great training into turn number 3. This is going to be another great one. We've got a yellow for Wheaton in the first turn. It has not flown yet as Wheaton stays into the race, keeps it rolling, pulls it back onto the back straightaway, and the battle continues. This is going to turn into a good one as they are bearing down on the back end of the field in the slower cars. Gahan looks to go to the outside of G.G. one more time. G.G. quick out of the turn. He keeps them at bay down that back straightaway. McClure, here's Gahan again to the outside of Gigi Gravel. Gravel with battle scars to the left front end of the number 54. Right on the rear bumper of Rosenfield. They come up on a slower car. Bob Whitney. Gigi to the high side, low side. Gahan to the outside as he goes powering up on top. Into turn number 3. Oh, some contact! Gigi and Gahan, and around goes the 50 car. Oh boy, yellow flag again. Caution lights out, Speedway's clear. We'll look for them to go green. Mitch Wendell has led us as the drop of the green. Started on the point. Rosenfield second. Hudson, McClure, and Cabral. Boy, this is going to be a shootout over the final 17. Keep an eye on the 54 and the 50 as they attempt to come back up through. Green flags out as BB turns them loose out of the turn. Hudson looking low on Rosenfield. Rosenfield beats him in the turn. He gets into the back of Rosenfield, and around goes the 44. Mike Murphy airborne as he climbed the side of Hollywood Bob. Mike Murphy literally airborne as he climbed up the side of Hollywood Bob Cabral. Eric Hudson into the back end of Jim Rosenfield, putting the 44 around. Rosenfield's gone to the pits. A tough break for Jim Rosenfield, running solidly in second. The whole thing plays out now when we go back to break. Wendell, McClure, Cabral, Viandaca, Haig, your top 5. Here's the green as Jim turns them loose. Out of the fourth corner they roar. Back to racing we go. Cabral on the inside of Alan McClure. Race for second between Cabral and McClure. McClure up out of the marbles, and Cabral wins out. Viandaca moves underneath, and he goes into the third spot. Haig is 5th, Wheaton 6th. Marshall on the outside of Scaff. They race for 7th. Then it's Gigi, Rosenfield, and Gahan. McClure to the inside of Viandaca. Viandaca fighting a dual handling race car. We are halfway. 15 down, 15 to go. Bob Cabral right behind Mitch Wendell. Mikey Wheaton runs in 6th, Gaff is 7th, Gigi 8th, Rosenfield 9th. Gahan moves underneath. Ronnie Marson racing them side by side for the 10th spot. Viandaca and McClure, they swap the 3rd spot again. Pete Viandaca moving the 135 car into the 3rd spot. Here comes Wheaton down low on Wes Haig. In the Hampshire spot to number 11. And the veteran Mike Wheaton racing him out of turn number 2 for the 5th position, and he moves by. Scaff follows in the same groove down East Drilling number 33 car. Looking to put a move on Wes Haig down low. Exchange a little bit of sparks, nothing serious there as they continue to go battling down side by side into turn number 3. McClure right on the rear bumper of Viandaca. Further back, Gahan and Eric Hudson are trying to find their way through the traffic. Gigi races Scaff for the spot. 20 laps completed, 10 laps remain for Mitch Wendell. McClure on the rear bumper of Viandaca. 5th is Wheaton, 6th is Scaff. Gravel is 7th. Rosenfield 8th. Haig and Gahan are battling for the 9th spot. Bobby Gahan underneath moves to 9th. Here comes Eric Hudson now for the 10th spot. Hudson on the inside of Haig moves to 10th, and the nasty Neil Murray number 7. Freddie Scaff and Gigi Gravel, the Team Donnie's drilling cars. They are battling for the 6th spot on the Speedway. Gahan on the outside of Rosenfield as they go side by side. Bobby Gahan up top in the Cox Vogler, number 50. Look at Rosenfield now. He puts the pressure to Gigi Gravel on the inside. You got a good battle going on there. A cluster of red race cars. The white one, the Neil Murray number 7 gets into the dance here. Out of the 4th corner. Down underneath Bobby Gahan. Wow, what a battle going on. If you look back there, you got a good one going on with Rosenfield and Gigi Gravel. Bobby Gahan and Eric Hudson. And Mitch Wendell continues to set the pace with Bobby Cabral in hot pursuit. Wendell pulls him down the straightaway. Gigi Gravel and Bobby Gahan. Gahan by Rosenfield up top, though. Rosenfield hangs tough on the inside. They scramble out of the 4th corner. Down low, Rosenfield on Gigi. Hudson right there with Gahan as they go door to door, wheel to wheel. A blanket out of turn number 2. Gigi to the high side. Gigi moves down in front of Rosenfield, but he gives him the line out of turn number 4. Hampshire's trying to find his way through here. He's saying, come on, Gigi, let's go. They're going to get the 2 to go sign now, the leaders. That battle continues to wage on with Rosenfield and Gigi Grabo. Now you've got Wheaton on the outside of Piandaka. They're racing for the 3rd spot. They're door-to-door going into the corner. Rosenfield and Gigi continue to battle it out. McClure is running in the 5th spot. White flag is out, 1 more to go. Piandaka and Wheaton side by side for the 3rd spot. And Mike Wheaton moves by out here on the front straightaway as they work out of the 4th corner. McClure right up behind Piandaka. Scaff, then Rosenfield, Hudson, Charlie Rose, checkers out, Wendell wins it, Hollywood Bob goes 2nd, 3rd is going to go to Wheaton, 4th to Piandaka, McClure, 6th to Scaff, 7th Rosenfield. Field as the closing laps clicked off here on the Star Speedway scoreboard, and Mitch Wendell powers the polyback number 21 of David and Ed Joyce in the victory lane here at Star Speedway tonight. This is Mitch's 4th feature win. He ties Eric Hudson for most features won here in 1994. Powering the polyback number 21 in the victory lane for the 4th time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How about a nice hand for your Pro Stock winner, Mitch Wendell? Despite the caution flags which slowed the pace on several occasions, it was a great race in our Pro Stock feature. They'll be back later on because we've got a dash coming up for the Pro Stock sponsored by Mid-City Paving.
Tip over. In the Don Duville Pontiac from Windham, Connecticut in the 7X is John Farrell. And having swapped with his brother-in-law, in Ken Schrader's Urati Automotive Seekonk Grand Prix Volkswagen from Wales, Massachusetts. In the number 29, the white number 29, is John Mkhitaryan. And from that group that formed the club in 1953, 41 years later, you see this crowd of cars in front of you. That is, without a doubt, the top pavement racing organization in the country as far in the field of midgets. They're now in their 2x2 lineup ready to go. But we've got one more time to go around. You heard me announce where all these guys come from. They've driven a long way to put on this show for you, and they'd like to salute you, the fans, now. As they make a full wide parade lap around the track, they'd like to hear from you. It's a little thin crowd tonight in the cold, but I know you can make up for it. Let's everybody stand up and cheer and yell and scream as they come off turn 4. Let's have a wave down the front stretch, through the middle of the turn into turn 1. They do appreciate knowing that you're glad they came. And they'll do their best to put on a good race for you in the next 25 laps. Now Steve Dumas looks them over, and they are in good racing order. Last time by, they could see you waving, but this time by, they're looking just at Steve, and they're looking at that green flag. We've got a couple youngsters on the point. Paul Scally, E.J. Dougal, bring him out of turn 4 and go! Out of turn 1, it's Paul Scally in the lead, E.J. Dougal second, but he goes wide, and Paul Wallace gets under 3 wide into turn 3 behind him. Everybody makes it. Look at Horn come right up the middle. Jeff Horn comes right up the middle, takes to the outside, and is passing cars. Paul Scally, Paul Wallace. 1 and 2. Russ Storr in third. Drew Finoro, Jeff Horn. Mike Seymour comes through the bottom into 6th spot, followed by his brother Bobby in the 7th. Paul Scally in the lead as Paul Lawless all over him. As Scally goes wide, Lawless tries to get under him, can't do it. He's got the big guns. He's got Russ Storr and Drew Finoro right behind him. Storr trying the outside. Storr gets loose. Finoro gets under him, and Storr loses the spot. As Paul Wallace goes under Scally side by side. They come out of turn 4. Wallace is leading. Drew Panoro now gets under Scally. They got Scally out. He couldn't get back in. The top 3 cars come by him. Paul Wallace in the lead. Laps the first car is John Farrell, who got on his side earlier. Obviously did some damages and handling right at the first car lap. Paul Wallace out in front with Drew Panoro right behind him. Volkswagen in front. Drew Panoro in second spot. Wallace pushes a little. Panoro gets under him. Panoro on the bottom. Drew Panoro has the lead. Panoro has the lead. Mike Seymour now working for third on Russ Storr. Lap car in the way. Panoro goes under him. Wallace goes under him. Storr's going to go around the outside. Storr makes it around the outside. Seymour and Horn have to follow around the outside. Drew Panoro out in front. Russ Storr now working on Wallace, but is losing the rear end coming out. And Russ Storr breaks. Russ Storr has some kind of problem and he's broken. And is he going to make it to the exit road? Yes, he is. So the field will continue under green. Drew Panoro in the lead. Drew Panoro going into turn 1 into 45. That is your leader coming up on lap cars, running too wide. Right down the middle of them goes Drew Panoro. Paul Wallace in second spot. Jeff Horn in third. Jeff Horn gets under Paul Wallace, but can't quite make the pass. Black cars everywhere. Jeff Horn goes right through the middle of them down the backstretch. Jeff Horn dives into turn 3, tries to get up to Panoro as the yellow flag comes out. Now we're going to bunch this field right back up again. As we've got a spin, it looks like Matt O'Brien in the 16 is sideways. And I can't see who that is in the red car sitting up at the top of the track. So keep your eye on it. Track's clear, but we've got a big hole and the green is out. Scrambling in the back, but the green is out. Paul Wallace leads him with Bobby Seymour second. And we had a spin way back here as Matt O'Brien spun into the infield. And we'll get another chance to do that start, because that start was a little scrambling. Barry Cannon now dragging something. Matt O'Brien is back for the first time after missing most of this season. They trashed that car pretty badly early this season, and it's taken them all this time to get it back together again. That is a complete hand-built car, built by Matt and his dad, Jim O'Brien, and you don't just go out to the store and buy new parts when you've hand-built a car. And even if you had the money to go out and buy new parts. And I'm sure he's having a little handling problems, and the cold, damp track probably isn't helping him any. Okay, one more time around now. Green is out. Paul Wallace leads the way, followed by Bobby Seymour, Joe Payne, Paul Scally, and Jeff Horn, who got a good running start on it, is all the way up to fifth. Paul Wallace as well. Here comes Joe Payne under Bobby Seymour. Joe Payne takes over second spot from Bobby Seymour. And Joe Payne in the Jeff Miller car. Rookie owner this year, veteran driver. Joe Payne takes off after Paul Wallace, who's well out in front. John Mkhitaryan takes off in the Ken Schrader machine. He heads for the pit. And now Joe Payne has Jeff Horn on his tail. Jeff Horn is in third, knocking on Joe Payne's door for second. Bobby Seymour still holding down fourth. Has a little trouble getting by Mike Chicky. Russ Storr, Drew Panoro, and Nick Panoro follow through. Bill Paul Wallace out in front. Joe Payne, Jeff Horn. Here's your battle for fourth, and Russ Storr takes over fourth from Bobby Seymour. Coming out of turn four. Seymour's got a push, and Drew Panoro is working on him too. 3 laps to go. Joe Payne is getting closer. Joe Payne is getting closer. 2 to go. If either of those two wins, we're going to have a new winner. Wallace has got trouble. Wallace is slowing down. Payne goes by him on the bottom. Horn goes by him on the top. Joe Payne is with 1 lap to go. Joe Payne is headed for his first win. Paul Wallace has lost his shot at his first ever win. He's probably running out of fuel. Joe Payne has 1 more corner. 2 more corners. Here comes Jeff Horn. Red flag. Red flag is out. Red flag is out as we have a car upside down in turn 4. It's Mike Chicky in the 71 who got upside down. We're going to checker the flag, and Joe Payne has won his first Northeastern Midget Association feature, and he becomes our 10th winner in 10 features. A new record. We had tied the record in 1957. The first 9 features had 9 different winners. We have now broken that. The first 10 features have had 10 different winners. And as it turned out, any of those top 3 cars would have been a new feature winner. Joe Payne, a former TQ racing champion, Jeff Miller, a rookie owner, have their first midget feature win.
Everybody coming over to congratulate them for their first victory.
Let's have a big hand for Joe Payne and Jeff Miller. Wave to the crowd, Jeff. Everybody knows who Joe is.
Well, that helps. Everyone has white pants and red shirts. That one on the back stretch. All the way over there. What'd you say?
Wow, that turned out to have its moments. I haven't heard anything.
But lights will follow. And then the Pro Stock 20-lap dash, sponsored by Mid-City Paving. Mini stocks and street stocks in that order. This is all for the marbles right here. J.R. Burrell, the point leader, coming into the feature. He has had an outstanding 1994 season in the maiden voyage for the strictly stock division here at Star Speedway, as they are a regular division down in Hudson sometimes. Bumper tag out there on Fraser. Alrighty, here they come for 15 laps of strictly stock action. Under the green they go, J.R. Burrell. Oscar Leclerc second. Mighty Mike Lewis runs in third. Tetro to the inside of Brian Palin. They're racing for the 4th spot, and here comes Dean Weber strong in the number 30. Burrell, your leader. Weber moves underneath Palin. He goes into the 5th spot, now goes to the high side of Steve Tetro. Works the high side in turns 3 and 4. Leclerc still holding on to second. Mighty Mike trying to close on him. Here's Weber to the outside of Tetro as they go side by side into turn number 1. Wheel to wheel out of the corner. Dean Weber goes high down that back straightaway, and he moves the number 30 car into the 4th spot. J.R. Baril, Oscar Leclerc, Mighty Mike, Weber in 4th spot. Then Steve Tetro in the 5th position. Brian Palin runs in 6th. Pete Fraser is in 7th. Frank Foley runs 8th. Jerry Dodge back in the 9th spot, and Joel Patterson. Race for the 4th position there. Palin goes high on the back straightaway of the 11. He's right up behind Tetro in the 3rd turn. Here they are out of the 4th corner. Zipping down the front straightaway. Palin again right behind Tetro as they work that 2nd turn. Meanwhile, we've got Dean Weber moving underneath Mike Lewis as they race for the 2nd spot. Here's Weber down low out of the turn. Side by side with Lewis as they battle for that number 2 spot. Down low, it's Weber in that 1st turn, and he's got the advantage out of turn number 2. He moves the number 30 car in the 2nd, now setting his sights on Oscar Leclerc, as J.R. Baril enjoys a comfortable full straightaway lead. A race now to development for 2nd spot. Let's see if Weber's going to try the high side and look for an opportunity down low. Out of turn number 2, he goes high. Lewis running with him right down that back straightaway into turn number 3. They are nose to tail through the 3rd and 4th turn. Passing flag shown to Joel Patterson as your 2nd place race moves down on him in the turns. Weber right on the rear bumper of Leclerc out of turn number 2, and Lewis is right there for the ride in the number 3 car. Through traffic, they come up by Joel Patterson. Here's Lewis to the inside of Weber out of turn number 4. They're side by side. Great race going on for 3rd. Lewis right behind the number 30. Here's Weber again. Let's see, what's he going to do? He's going to go high. Puts the hammer down. Tries to bring it up alongside Oscar Leclerc in the 45. Mike Long drops out of the race. Here's Weber again, letting it all hang out up top. Down the front straightaway. Can't seem to pull it up alongside of Leclerc the way he wants to, as J.R. Baril darts down underneath a slower car of Jerry Dodge, hanging on to the lead. Great battle for 2nd here. And the 3rd spot, Mighty Mike Lewis on the inside. Weber again tries the outside group, filing into turn number 1. Pip and tuck action. You can put a blanket over them out of turn number 2. Again, Oscar Leclerc keeps Dean Weber at bay. Here's Lewis right down the inside of Dean Weber. Mighty Mike not to be denied here as he continues to battle for the 3rd spot. On the inside of the front straightaway again, they're coming up with a slower car. Mighty Mike Lewis on the inside out of turn number 2 as Oscar goes to the inside of the slower car. Here's Lewis getting the advantage. Drives a low line into turn number 3. Back in the 3rd spot he goes. Dean Weber boxed out by Jerry Dodge in the number 15 car. Jim Beebe's got the black flag in hand, and it might be for Jerry Dodge. He interfered with that race there. Here's Weber and Lewis again going at it for 3rd. Dean Weber down low. The white flag is out. One more. Weber and Lewis continue. They battled like this 2 years ago at Hudson International. And again, Mike Lewis right on that rear lid out of turn number 2. Here's J.R. Baril taking the checkers. He's the 1994 Strictly Stock champion. 2nd spot is going to go to Oscar Leclerc. 3rd to Weber. 4th to Lewis. And the 5th spot goes to Brian Palin. J.R. Baril scores his first ever track championship here at Star Speedway. Here's J.R. Baril, a happy crowd coming from the pit area. We know they're mostly out of the vehicle as he wheels that number 17 Strictly Stock into victory lane. Sponsored by Advanced Racing Heads, also Great Bay Camping, Davco Excavators, Waters and Sons, Chevron of New Hampshire, Tony's Used Auto Parts, and Councilman Electric. JR advised us earlier tonight that both the car and the trailer are for sale. So, you know, he's moving on to bigger and better things, fresh off a Thunder late model feature win, his first ever down at Hudson last week. This car has got 43 feature wins and 2 championships. This carried him to 43 feature wins, 2 championships. And JR has asked me to extend a very special thanks to his dad, Phil Baril Sr. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Weber and I were talking about it earlier tonight. We believe, and Phil's down there in victory lane with his son, We believe he to be the youngest champion ever in the history of Star Speedway. 18 years old. How about an ice hand for the 1994 Strictly Stock champion, J.R. Burrell. Here we go. Michael Barton leads him into the turn down low with Paul Matthews on the outside. Race for third. Mark Labonte and Steve Koloski are doing more. Oh boy, this is developing into a scramble out of the fourth corner for your first lap lead. Michael Barton. Out of turn number 2, Koloski on the outside of Labonte. Casey and Scaff go side by side. Koloski moves by Labonte. He goes to third. Rookie Michael Barton leads it. Paul Matthews second. Steve Koloski, Mark Labonte. Kim Casey and Scaff have got a battle going on for the 5th spot. Here's Koloski with that patented move to the inside. Racing Matthews for second. You don't want to get up too high off the 4th turn because Koloski's going to sneak right under you every time. And that's what he does to Paul Matthews. He goes to 2nd spot. 6th is Fred Scaff. 7th is Dave Matthews. Lee Weldy 8th. Brett Rollins 9th. Piandaka goes to work to the outside of Nowak for the 10th spot. Here's Paul Matthews trying to get that move back on Koloski. He does the same thing to Koloski. Knocks underneath him coming out of turn 4. Races them side by side down the back straightaway. Great race for second there. Inches apart out of the turn. Matthews back to second. Labonte now looks for room underneath out of 2. Scaff goes outside Casey. They touched a little bit. Freddie had to get on the binders. Here's Dave Matthews to the inside of Scaff. Whoops. Koloski loose out of the turn. Slowed the field just a little bit. Let him gather it up. Matthews continues to pressure the leader. Scaff goes outside Timmy Casey. They're battling for 5th. Lee Weldy and Dave Matthews are door-to-door out of 4. Steve Koloski in 3rd. Mark Labonte as they roar off the 4th corner. Dave Matthews and Scaff side by side. Here's Scaff outside Matthews one more time. His dad, Paul Matthews, putting the pressure to Michael Barton. Scaff and Dave Matthews. Lee Weldy, Brett Rollins. Paul Matthews looks inside Barton going into turn number 3. We may have a new leader here, and we do. Paul Matthews takes the lead coming out of the 4th corner. Steve Koloski with Mark Labonte behind him. Tim Casey's Bev. Dave Matthews and Freddie Scaff wheel to wheel. They're battling for the 6th spot. Good race going on there. We've got action in the 3rd turn. Ian Thompson and Dave Rosenfield together in the 3rd corner. And the yellow flag is out. Thompson breaks away under his own power. Billy Sullivan just brought his fiery engine to the fire department. Now we have flames showing on the 38. It's been doused, and we're back to green. Whoa! Constant spins. And we're going to go back to yellow as a result of that. Ooh, look out over there in the 3rd turn. Koloski. The caution lights are out. And we're looking to go green here. 11 laps completed. They're going 25 in total. Paul Matthews looking to score his 3rd feature win of the season. And here they come. The engines come alive. Jim Beebe cuts them loose out of the 4th corner. The green is out. And right off the bat, Steve Koloski goes to the low side of the rookie Michael Barton. He goes in the 2nd spot. Labonte runs in fourth. Tim Casey and Freddie Scaff right behind him. A little bumper tag, Scaff and Labonte halfway. Scaff up atop the first turn, racing with Tim Casey. He's right behind Mark Labonte. Casey ducks it down low into turn number 3. Labonte shakes him free for the moment out of the turn, but Timmy fights back strong on the inside. Boy, Barton's still holding on the third, looking impressive in this main event. Whoops, Scaff out of shape in the back straightaway. Gathered, well, he almost gathered it up. He got out of harm's way for sure. And Jim Beebe's trying to wave him down to get that Donnie's drilling number 33 a roll, and he does. And the race continues on. We got Biandaca on the apron, and Peter draws the yellow. How many times do you see that happen? The rookie sandwiched in there in third spot. Mark Labonte, Tim Casey, and Dave Matthews. Here's the green flag. Out of the turn they come. Back to racing we go. Labonte on the outside of Michael Barton. You got Dave Matthews zipping by the outside of Tim Casey. Here comes Lee Weldy alive on the outside. Whoops, Labonte almost went off. The third turn gathers it up, hangs on to the fourth position. Timmy Casey must have a tire going down. Casey slows out here on the front straightaway. Well, we don't see anything on the outside of the car. The engine died, or maybe he has a tire going down on the inside of the racer. As Matthew leads the charge down the front straightaway. Casey slows in the upper groove of the first corner. Down the back straightaway, a freight train. We're going to go yellow for Tim Casey. Oh, he got it going. He just happened to get it going. Here they come, the green flag. Here they are down the straightaway, back to green. Lee Weldy works the outside of Michael Barton. Barton a little loose. Here's Weldy trying to glue it down on the outside. He moves by. He went high. Barton in trouble. He collects Rich Nowak and sends Nowak down pit road. Yellow is out. Maybe, just maybe, Barton had a tire go down in the second turn because he was sort of out of control going down the back straightaway. And unfortunately, he collected Rich Nowak. Mark Labonte suffers a flat tire. Okay, the speedway's clear. Caution lights are on, and here they come. The green flag. Matthews leads them out of the corner. Look at Weldy right down the middle. Steve Kolofsky and Weldy. Kolofsky goes high. Weldy bangs into the side of Kolofsky. And off goes Steve Kolofsky off turn number 2. Yellow is out. Steve Kolofsky's going to have to go to the rear after the contact there. But it certainly is nice to see. You've got brothers dotting the Winston Cups roster, but now we got a father-son team here in the Bud Light division, and here we go. Let's see who's going to take who to the driving school. Paul Matthews takes him into the turn. Dave gets high. There goes Lee Weldy underneath him. George Baldwin and Brett Rollins right down underneath Dave Matthews. Baldwin the low line going into 3. Rollins throws it up on the outside. Out of the corner they come. Rollins moves by in the third spot, but George hangs tough, and he's really making Rollins work. Dave Matthews fights back. Look at Biandaca. Remember him? He spun over on the apron. He's back into the thick of things and in the hunt here. Out of turn number 4, Lee Weldy hanging the right rear out. Coming out of turn number 2. Kind of held Brett Rollins back from making a move, and here comes Brett on the outside. He and Baldwin door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel down the back straightaway. Dave Matthews and Pete Biandaca there hooked in a battle side by side. Out of the corner they come. Brett Rollins by Lee Weldy. Nope. Weldy fights back strong on the inside, but look at Brett. He hangs it tough on the outside of the number 12 car, wheel-to-wheel down the back straightaway. Rosenfield and Nowak together exiting turn number 2. Rosenfield down onto the apron. Your leaders battle down the front straightaway, and again the yellow flag is over the speedway for Dave Rosenfield. A contact between Rosenfield and Rich Nowak in the number 22. Rosenfield on the apron, and we've got, 5 laps left to go, Matt? Okay, they're set. Here they come. To cover the final 6 laps out of the turn. Jimmy turns them loose down the straightaway. Weldy dips it underneath Brett Rollins. Rollins now trying to glue it down. He's inches apart from Paul Matthews. Dave Matthews on the outside of Lee Weldy. Timmy Casey with a move underneath George Baldwin. Here comes Fiandaca right up behind Dave Matthews. Dips it down low. Looks to go low with Weldy underneath Matthews. Down the back straightaway they go. Rollins and Paul Matthews. Brett drops it right in behind the number 51 in front of Lee Weldy, forcing Dave Matthews to the outside, and Matthews is going to race Weldy for the 3rd spot as they blast their way into the corner. Great action out of turn number 2. Fiandaca's gone to 5th as he got by Casey. Dave Matthews works the outside groove. Whoops, Lee Weldy and Fiandaca, they gather them up. Here's Timmy Casey to the inside of Pete Fiandaca. Rollins around, Fiandaca around, Dave Matthews around, Ian Thompson around, and Michael Barton, believe it or not, got through it all. Okay, single file restart, 3 laps to cover here to wrap it up here for the Bud Light Division. Green flag now. Here they come. Paul Matthews with Lee Weldy and Humper Pursuit now out of the turn. Tim Casey, George Baldwin, and Nowak are your top 5. Scap gets in front of Kolofsky, and it's a freight train out of turn number 2. To the stripe for 2 to go. Lee Weldy a bit loose off the corners. Tim Casey's right there waiting for him to make a mistake. This could be the way they finish. Is anybody going to let it all hang out? The white flag, 1 more to go. Down the back straightaway. Certainly looks like that's the way they'll finish. Weldy comes up high, but thinks better of it. Doesn't want Casey to slip by. Matthews wins it. Weldy, Casey, Baldwin 4th, Rich Nowak 5th. So there you have the running of your 25-lap Bud Light feature as Paul Matthews in the Haverhill Industrial Service. Gary Newell sponsored, Classic Glass sponsor number 51, picks up his 3rd feature win of the 1994 season. We are going to forego the Victory Lane celebration because of the time. Trying to squeeze everything in here. And our next division, which is going to be the Pro Stock Dash, is rolling out here onto the Speedway. And you can see that Dave Rosenfield has got either a busted radiator hose or a hole in his radiator. But he's got fluid leaking all over the front straightaway here as the Pro Stocks make their way out here onto the Speedway. This is a special event. It's 20 laps in distance. It's sponsored by Mid-City Paving of Merrimack, New Hampshire. Joe Pollard, the proprietor there. And this is going to be for regional NASCAR points only. This is not for track points. All righty. The Mid-City Paving Dash. Here they come. Out of the turn. The green flag is out. Jimmy Rosenfield takes him into the corner. Eric Hudson on the outside. Mitch Wendell 3rd. Bobby Hand 4th. Mike Wheaton runs in 5th as Hudson, the defending Winston Racing Series Pro Stock champion, works the high side out of the turn. The Mid-City Paving sponsored 20-lap dash. Got Hand on the outside of Wendell trying to put the pressure to Mitch as they work into that 3rd turn. Now the tires are starting to warm up. Wheaton runs 5th, Gigi 6th, Fiandaca, Rose 8th, Larson 9th, and Fred Scapp in 10th spot. Got Hand moves by Wheaton, goes to the 4th position. Hudson trying to get some heat into those tires to make a pass attempt on the outside of Jim Rosenfield. Hangs right on his right flank out of the corner. Here's Gahan to the high side of Wendell, ran out of room. Wheaton moves down low going into the turn. They scoot back to the line to complete the fourth lap. Wendell down low on Eric Hudson. Hudson continues to try the outside of Jimmy Rosenfield. He just can't buckle it down enough to pull it up alongside of Rosenfield. Although he's making a real gallant effort now, as Mitch is right on the rear bumper of Rosenfield. And because of the cool track temperatures, Hudson gets hung out to dry. Look at Gahan as Hudson sails off 3, and Gahan comes to the outside where yellow. Gigi's 5th. Charging Charlie is running in 6th. Viandaka is 7th. Then it's Marson, Scaff, and Hudson down at the rear. Here they come. They get the green flag. The motors roar out of turn 4, back to racing. Mitch Wendell throws it up on the outside going into the turn. Rosenfield has the low line out of the turn. Here comes Gahan alive down low out of 2. Now Gahan's going to put the pressure to Wendell because he's on the high side of Rosenfield. And Mike Whedon's in tow in the A1 Tree and Landscape A1. Gigi's right there in the Down East drilling number 54. Boy, oh boy, what a dash this is. Rosenfield with a slight advantage going through 3 as Mitch runs the high groove. We got cars around in the third turn. Hudson, Marson, and Freddie Scaff involved in the 33. Speedway's clear, caution lights are out. And the engines come alive in the third turn. They're racing out of the fourth corner. The green flag is on. The dash is back underway. Bob Gahan dashes down underneath Mitch Wendell, trying to power through that second turn. Look at Mitch fight back, and the poly back number 21 on the outside. Wendell runs the high groove in the third and fourth turns, racing both Bob Gahan and Jimmy Rosenfield for the lead. Gahan muscles his way down low with Wendell. They're door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel down the back straightaway. Wheaton in 4th. Gigi is running in the 5th spot. Viandaka 6th. Charging Charlie runs 7th. Eric Hudson up to 8th spot. Wendell and Gahan continue to have at it for 2nd spot. Inches apart, wheel-to-wheel, door-to-door, number-to-number, side window to side window down the back straightaway. Continue to run lap after lap, side by side here, putting the pressure to Jimmy Rosenfield. Takes a little bit off of him here, a little bit. Gahan's got just a tad of an advantage out of turn number 2 as Mitch hangs top. Mike Wheaton's right here. He's got the best seat in the house watching that whole thing develop in front of him. We are halfway, 10 down, 10 to go. In the Mid-City Paving 20-lap dash. Gahan and Wendell. Wendell wobbled a little bit. Here's Mike Wheaton coming up for a peek on the inside of the A1 car. Into turn number 3. Side by side between Wheaton and Wendell. Gigi 5th, Charging Charlie is in 6th, 7th is Eric Hudson. A race for 3rd. Wheaton gets the advantage of the jump out of the 2nd corner, moves to 3rd. Here's Bobby Gahan and the Cox Vogler 50, sponsored by WCLV Hot Country. And the 50 car goes into the lead as he moves by on the outside. Bob Gahan jumps out in front. Again, this is all for those regional points under the NASCAR banner. Here's Wheaton on the inside of Rosenfield, racing him for the 2nd spot. Slight contact made. Rosenfield gathers it up because Wheaton backed out of it to let him do so. Gigi runs in the 4th spot. Now Charging Charlie and Mitch run side by side for the 5th spot. 14 laps completed out here on the front straightaway. Nose to tail out of the 2nd turn. Wheaton right on the rear lid of Jim Rosenfield. There'll be 5 to go for Bob Gahan in the Mid-City Paving dash. Eric Hudson and Mitch Wendell are side by side as Hudson hooks up on the outside. Look at this. Wheaton and Rosenfield battling out of turn number 2. Wheaton on the inside's got the advantage going into the 3rd turn. Charlie Rose and Gigi touch. And around goes Gravel. Rose continues on as he darts down under the apron. The yellow flag is out. Gigi Gravel creeping along on the apron over there, looking to rejoin the action down to the rear of the field. Some great side-by-side racing. You got to love this dash stuff, huh? And we'll watch the front end of the pack to come alive now. Gahan, Wheaton, and Rosenfield, your top 3, Hudson and Wendell. Here they come out of the turn. The green flag is back out, and we are back to racing in the Mid-City Paving dash. Bob Gahan, the low line through the turn. Mike Wheaton right on his rear bumper. Rosenfield, Hudson, and Wendell. That's the way they run down that back straightaway. Out of the turn. Hudson looks high on Rosenfield. Rosenfield beats him out of that 4th turn. and to the high line down the straightaway. Eric Hudson driving the wheels off Nasty Neil Murray's car. We go one around in the second turn, and that's Ronnie Marson. Marson in the number 95, yellow flag out. Whoa, look out over there. Three laps to cover in the Mid-City Paving 20-lap dash. All right, here they come. Green flag is out. Me and Doc are jumping on the outside. Green out. Back to racing we go. Nose to tail out of the turn. Charlie Rose goes inside Scaff, looking to make a bid there on the inside. Drives it down low. 2 laps to go. Rose and Scaff side by side with Gigi right there, charging Charlie. Down low out of turn number 2. And now the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Last lap of the Mid-City Paving dash. Mike Wheaton right on the rear bumper of Bobby Gahan, 2 longtime veterans here. Will finish 1-2 as the checkers are waiting for them out of the turn. And Bobby Gahan will lay claim to the Mid-City Paving dash. Wheaton second. Third went to Jimmy Rosenfield. Fourth to Eric Hudson. And Mitch Wendell finished 5th. The mini stocks are coming out of the Speedway next for 15-lap feature. Pete Evans. Here they come, the mini stalkers for 15 laps. Down the straightaway, Jason Marr goes by Saucier. Jason Marr takes the middle of the corner and out of turn number 2. Saucier loses it out of the corner. Gathers it up down on the apron as Collier runs in the second spot. Roger spins on the back straightaway, keeps it rolling though. Nope, Roger, you got to turn it around. Well, Collier right into Jason Marr. Boy, he took him out over there in that first turn. Caution lights out around the Speedway, 1 down, 14 to go. Quigley the leader with Evans on the outside. Pistol Pete Evans, here they come. Green flag is on as Troy Breggy turns him loose out of the corner. Evans on the high side, the little sideways coming out of the turn. There goes Marson down the inside. Paul Marson on the inside, inherits the lead exiting turn number 2. Here comes Billy McCarthy alive in the 30 car as he goes by Evans in the second. Race side by side between Matt Scott and Herb Quigley, blasting into turn number 3. Scott has the advantage coming out and has the 4th spot coming out of turn number 4. Bob Arsenal runs in 6th. Doug Levy is 7th. 8th is Jason Mark, Collier 9th, and Ron Page 10th. Meanwhile, up the front of the pack as they blast down the straightaway, it is Billy McCarthy on the outside of Paul Marson. These are the 2 that have run so well here in 1994. And they're at it again here at Star Speedway tonight in the Mini Main. Marson a good line through the turns. Billy fights back strong up top in the 30 car. Bill McCarthy, the point leader, coming into the racing action tonight, continues to run the outside groove. Goes in right in behind Marson now as Marson gets a good burst of speed down the front straightaway. Paul Marson, Bill McCarthy, quick out of turn number 2, shoots to the high side on the back straightaway, right up alongside of Marson, can't pull it down. I can't glue it down and pull it up alongside of him. They work down that front straightaway. Action out of the corner. Evans 3rd. Scott 4th. Quigley in the 5th spot. Here they are working into the 3rd turn as Bill McCarthy shoots to the high side of Paul Marson. Marson is able to hang on to the lead. McCarthy right on his rear bumper exiting out of turn number 2. Again, he's going to try the high side. That's the fast way by if you can get it to glue down. It's chilly out there. The halfway mark now from Troy Breggy. Channel 1 video camera right on the leaders. Marson and McCarthy working into turn number 3. Is Bill looking to cross up Paul. Looks to the low side here. Drag race down the front straightaway. And Marson's able to beat him into the turn. Again, McCarthy's going to try the high groove. As he sees some slower cars ahead of him, trying to use them to his advantage. Down the front chute. They get by the 42 car without any problem. And again, Billy is going to work the high groove on the back chute. Coming up on Roger Saucier. Here they are out of the corner. Again, McCarthy tries to scoot up alongside Marson going into the turn, and Paul shuts the door on him going in. And they've got clear sailing as they get by Roger Saucier. And they've got a lot of clear asphalt ahead of them now. And it'll be a two-car shootout between these two as they work down the front straightaway. Closing in on the finale here. McCarthy only inches apart out of turn number 2. Thought for the moment there like he was going to be able to scoop by Marson. Boy, he's trying everything he possibly can here. Marson driving the line down the center of the front straightaway, and McCarthy again's got the hammer down, tries to pull it alongside, and he can't do it. Marson, about a half a car length lead down the back straightaway. Not much to work with as Pete Evans runs in the third spot. Here they are off the fourth corner, zipping down the front straightaway. And by the 42 again. Moving in on the finish here. McCarthy looking low going in. Marson dips it down low to prevent him from coming down the inside. White flag, one more lap to go. The last ditch effort here by Bill McCarthy. Right on the outside. Nothing doing there. Marson outmotors him down the straightaway. Billy's going to keep his leg in it going into turn number 3. Here they are out of the fourth corner, racing to the checkers. McCarthy on the high side, and it's Marson by a half a car length. Third will go to Pete Evans. Nat Scott, Herb Quigley, 5th. So Paul Marson rolls into victory lane here at Star Speedway with another impressive run. He and Bill McCarthy have been the guns in this division thus far in 1994. And Marson shows the way to victory lane tonight. That is Paul's 4th feature win of the campaign. Win number 4 for the Methuen, Massachusetts racer. The street stocks are making their way onto the speedway. This is going to be the final event of the night. 20 laps for the street stock division. Don't forget, when you're leaving the Speedway tonight, you can still put your order in for all the action via Channel 1 Video. $15 if you order here this evening. We're set for street stock competition, 20 laps. The main event on the Speedway. The green flag is out, and here we go. Allie Olson quickly goes to the outside of George Gibson. Gibson takes him high. Olson way up high. Here comes Rob Ball down the inside. Rich Rossi making a 3 abreast going into the turn. Who's going to give here? It'll be Rossi lifting to let Allie Olson in as they blast out of the fourth corner. Olson on the outside of Ball. He again is going to try George Gibson on the high side going through. Rich Rossi on the outside of Flanders looks to go to work on the outside of Rob Ball. Meanwhile, up the front, you've got Gibson and Allie Olson inches apart, battling some spark spray in that fourth turn, and here they are down the front chute. Allie Olson jumps out in front, completing lap number 2. Rich Rossi and Rob Ball, door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel out of the turn. Ball beats him out of the corner in the 03 Camaro. Jay Sands and Bob Flanders are side-by-side. Here comes Don Little and Big John DeBarro. They scramble out of the fourth turn. Gibson to the low side. Rich Rossi to the high side. Rossi trying to catch up and race with Gibson out of the second turn. He does, and it's a side-by-side battle down the back straightaway as they power into turn number 3. Rich Rossi moves by. Louis Michelita spins in the third turn in the Simmons number 47. Jay Sands works the outside groove, and we're going to go yellow as Gibson got into the burrow, and they spun the both of them over there in the second corner. Speedway is clear. They're set for the restart. 4 down, 16 remain. Here's the green flag, the street stocks. Always exciting and fun to watch out of turn number 4. Allie Olson leads him into the turn. Jay Sands goes to work underneath Rich Rossi as they battle for second out of 2. Big John DeBarro waiting in the wings of the 9 New Hampshire. Stevie Landry slows on the back straightaway. May have had a tire go down. There goes George Gibson around in the third turn. Don Little goes to the high side to avoid. Waving Gibson back onto the speedway, and the scramble is on down the back straightaway. Allie Olson, Jay Sands, 1, 2, 3 is Big John DeBarro. And Rich Rossi in the fourth spot. Big John goes to work on the outside of Jay Sands. Pretty hard to glue it down up top tonight on the chilly racing conditions. On a cold speedway here on a chilly night in New Hampshire. Although Jay Sands looks low on Allie Olson. The fast way by, the way to go by is going to be on the inside unless Big John proves me wrong as he races Jay Sands up top of the back straightaway. Here he is with the back end sliding loose on him. He has to gather it up. Meanwhile, Jay Sands pulls away from him. Rich Rossi right behind Navarro. Could be battling in here on the inside for third. And we are going under caution again. Speedway with extinguishers in hand. I guess they want Jay Sands. They see something there they don't like. Saw a glow, I guess, coming from the hood area. Whoops, look out. Apparently, either it extinguished itself or there might not have been anything there at all. Here they come for the green flag, and they get it. Jay Sands and Allie Olson. Olson around in the number 5. The back end came around on the red number 5 car over here. And we're watching to see if Allie's going to get it fired up. Nope, he's not. The yellow flag is up. Here they come. Jay Sands is your leader now. The green flag is out and they roar off the 4th corner. Back to racing we go. Big John DeBurrow in the B&A Trucking sponsored 9 New Hampshire runs the high groove. He and Sands out of 2. Rich Rossi runs in 3rd. Stevie Mullins is up to the 4th spot now. And Drakett's Bob Flanders runs in 5th. Here's DeBurrow to the high side of the front straightaway. Right alongside Jay Sands going in. Jay Sands and Big John DeBurrow having at it here for the street stock main event of the night here. Rich Rossi right behind. Rossi got into the back of DeBurrow, and around goes the 9 New Hampshire. Yellow is out. We've got cars all over the 4th turn. Louis Michelitis is involved. Of course, Big John DeBurrow. After Rossi got into the back of the 9 New Hampshire. Alrighty, here they come. And the green flag is out. Jay Sands, Bob Flanders, Kenny Smith. Now Don Little's up behind Smith, racing him for the 3rd spot as he looks low going into the turn. Smith is able to fend him off going through 3 and 4 and out of the turn. Bobby Flanders right on the rear bumper of Jay Sands down the front straightaway as they have reached the halfway mark. 10 down, 10 to go in the street stock feature. Kenny Smith right behind Flanders as Sands leads the charge out of the corner. Don Little right there with Sanders. Look low on him coming out of the turn. Paul in 5th. George Gibson runs in 6th. 7th, Allie Olson, Big John DeBurrow, and Mike Caterino are side by side as DeBurrow moves by. Side by side race for 3rd. Kenny Smith on the high side with Don Little. The rest of the field making its way by. Here goes Rob Ball on the inside of Ken Smith. Ken Smith drops out of the race in the 23X car. Tough break for him. He was running right up there with the leaders down to the pit area. Little races Flanders out of 2nd as he looks to the low side and a little squirrely coming out. Hangs onto it though. He comes to the inside and moves into the 2nd spot. Don Little now trying to reel in Jay Sands. Don Little, a feature winner here in 1994. Looking to reel in Jay Sands as they work that 3rd and 4th turn. Rob Ball is in the 4th spot. Allie Olson's back to 5th in the 5. Sands out of the 2nd turn. It appears that Little is starting to close on the leader Sands. Jay zips into that 1st turn. Down the back straightaway. Little starting to close a little. in the 09. Flanders is in third. Flanders, Rob Ball, Allie Olson, and Big John DeBurrow right behind Olson as they work that first and second turn and out of the corner. Olson's going to go high on Rob Ball, like he wanted to make an attempt on the outside, thought better of it. Looks to the low side coming out of the turn and moves by out here on the front straightaway. Allie Olson by Rob Ball. Races now for the third spot. We got a yellow out, and it's for Ball, who spun in the second turn. There you see Rob Ball stopped over there in the second turn. Has it fired up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are going to declare it an official race as we have reached the halfway mark, and Jay Sands will be credited with the victory in the number 63. We've reached the halfway mark of the race because of the time factor. We are going to declare it a race, so Jay Sands is your winner in the number 63. That is Jay's fourth feature win of the 1994 campaign. How about a nice hand for Jay Sands from Hampton, taking down his fourth feature win. Well, we're going to quickly wrap it up here because of the time factor, and we'd like to thank you very much for being with us tonight. Don't forget the classics here next Saturday night. Hudson Speedway tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, the Oscar Riddle Memorial Championship race, plus a full card starting at 6. For Bob and Gene Weber and all the Speedway officials, this is John Spence. Thanks for being with us, and enjoy the rest of your Labor Day holiday weekend. Good night, everybody.